Hey, what's going on? In case you're unfamiliar, on the channel, we do about one tournament per month, and each tournament typically has a different theme. And this last tournament was you needed at least one LD in your draft. The tournament was great. Once we got towards the end, we saw a bunch of people start to duke it out with their LDs, but we ultimately had a winner, and that winner was a guy named Dirty Demise. So his account is stacked. It's got 16 LDs. It's awesome. So I had a chance to sit down to interview him in the Discord and talk about what his gameplay looks like as an LD abuser. So I hope you enjoy. Maybe get some insight. The point of this channel is to learn not only from a beginner's perspective, but of course, it's always useful to know someone who's been playing the game for a little bit's perspective as well. So I hope you take something away from this. This guy also beat True Whale. Stick around to the end of the video to see that replay. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Dirty Demise, otherwise known as Brandon. I've been playing Summoners War for just under 1,100 days. As you can see by the profile, G2 Arena, which I just actually got, and then G2 RTA. Hover around G1, the G2, I just got kind of lucky and ended up kind of squeezing in, or I was actually like top 500, but I just got lucky with safe G2 numbers. In a G3 guild, Gambit, pretty much that's like the gist of my account. The profile kind of speaks for itself. Pretty good dungeon times. But yeah, so I'm a very heavy LD account. I do use a bunch of RGB units as well within my RTA box, which we'll go over here shortly. As you can see, my first LD is actually Talisman. I got that within the first week of playing the game. Had no clue what I got, and I went to work, and the guy that got me into the game, I said, "Hey man, is the light striker any good?" And he goes, "You didn't get one." And I showed him, and he about lost his mind. And it just kind of carried from that point on of me getting LDs. Is my buddy Tim. I've actually pulled probably over 50% of the LDs in front of him. So yeah, it's just a joke that we have. He got me into the game, and he's played for like 8 years, and I'm better than him. So it's just a short joke we have. But yeah, so right now, this season, I'm sitting top 300, slowly climbing like 30 points a day. Like today, I had about a 30-point increase. And as you saw in the tournament, if y'all watched that video, which if you haven't, you totally should, I do draft mainly LDs. The newest addition that was not in the tournament is actually Zeratu. Pulled him a couple days ago along with like 3 quads in a day, so kind of had a pretty good day. But mainly, this is kind of my main draft. I usually start with the speed lead, either Sierra or Oliver. Right now, the Oliver's he's not ruined very efficiently, but he's just ruined to be there as a 33. And if Sierra gets taken, Sierra is my main first pick. This is probably one of my most efficient sets, as far as like stat wise. I was able to get her to 85 AC without having to go with like an Axolot 6, which was pretty nice. Still have some grinding to do on all my runes, but pretty much all fully grinded. My usual second picks are probably my favorite on my account, which is Laura.
Shout out,
and then
Laura users.
Yeah, Laura users all the way. I should say Laura abusers is what I should say.
Even after the nerf.
Yeah, even after the nerf didn't do anything to her. Okay, cool. I don't have a 2-turn defense break, or defense buff, but it is what it is. It works for what it is. She's better. Her speed buff's actually what really makes her S3 that much better. She's ruined on a very efficient set. She's got some really good arties on her. Still trying to improve the arties right now. Normal non-crit, she hits about 2.7. I'm trying to get her to about 3.1 per hit non-crit. So the arties can be a little better. So as you can see, like, there's 2 lines in both artifacts that don't really do anything to her, which are the own turn crit damage. And then, yeah, so if I can get more additionals or a better arty in those areas, it'll just improve her. And then light twins is usually my third pick.
This unit was insane in the tournament, like in a crazy way.
Well, the kit on the twins, every single twin actually, as you can see, I have the water twins and the fire twins ruined in the box. Fire twins are at the bottom. But with light twins, her kit is just so good. And if you have her on a decent Swift set, which I can get that to 219, my goal is to get her to a 225 set. I'm just missing a couple quads. That is one of my fastest runes. You'll see my fastest rune on the account when we get to the Wunsa. But yeah, so she's pretty efficiently ruined. I believe I have her on max ac with arties. I'm not 100% sure on that though. I always forget that.
Looks like almost.
Oh, yep. I'm over
with
max ac actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, 85 is max ac because there's always a 15% resist. So she's on max ac. Artie is just straight additionals. A lot of my RTA matches, I will basically cleave a team with additionals. It's what it's the playstyle I like. And I do have some decent CC with my units as well. But the thing about Light Twins and her kit is just kind of nuts if you want to go to the skills. So she has the same S1 as every single Light Twin, right? She boosts up an ally of an attack bar, and then her attack side is decrease attack bar. Her S2 is a cooldown. I believe it's a 1-turn cooldown. And her S3 is what makes her on both, is what makes her really good. So she attack buffs for 2 turns all allies. And then her attack side, they just buffed this skill, which made her insanely good. But it removes unbeneficial effect with a 70% chance, and then it decreases attack bar by 10% with a 50% chance on a 3-hit skill.
I was gonna say, so that's every hit, right?
Every hit. So it can basically remove 3 debuffs, and if it removes the will debuff first, then I can push back attack bar 30%. So it's really good into like Hagangs. One thing I like running her with the TL because I'll push back more attack bar than the actual Hagang will gain. So I kind of will guarantee that I have first turn, even if they have a Hagang.
Wow.
But yeah, usually my 4th and 5th pick have been kind of varied between TL, Light Pig. We'll go over TL first. So TL is just on I actually nerfed him to make the Zeratu a little faster. But he's on a very, very tanky set with additionals, once again, in artifacts. Believe he doesn't have a quad on him. He's just got really efficient. I think that's the least efficient rune I have on him. I try not to go by the rune score on the game because it's kind of skewed. But I try to, if it's a main monster, I'm trying to use runes that have a rune score above 200, which means they're pretty efficient. So I prioritized more of the what do you call it? Additionals by HP, trying to get as much HP as possible, and then speed. And the 12% minus fire is actually really good into fire monkeys too.
So even with your Ciara Laura strip, you still have strip pushback with angels followed. So your Tian Lang is moving like no matter what, basically.
Yeah. So the cool thing about the TL with the Light Twins is I'll force a Hagang to buff or to boost the team with his passive, but then TL will cut. I S2, I push back more attack bar with a possible stun. So he's not really reliable in that sense. He's not the best strip unit, which is why he's not a 2nd or 3rd pick. He's more of a counter pick now. Into like high attack bar gain units. We're talking Oliver, Hagang, Velajul, anything that, really anything. Verd, I pick him into Verd a ton. He's a 4-span in most drafts. And he gets left in sometimes too, just because I have so many threats. I had a game earlier today. They picked a Berghild with I think it was a Berghild with a Chandra. There was a Berghild with a Hagang, and I picked TL. They left the TL in, and the TL was taking 3 or 4 turns before any other monster because the Berghild just kept pushing it up and up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
So it's a really good counter pick. Last season it was a main pick for me, and then I kind of got some new units, i.e. the Light Pig and the Zeratu. I kind of changed up the way that I draft. Light Pig is amazing. In my opinion, probably one of the best LD5s from the collab.
Jeez, this attacker.
That was actually my first quad. That was an event run. That was my very first quad.
Wow. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you shared in the Discord that you recently beat True Whale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's still in. If you want to show it for the video,
I'll definitely throw it up in the edit. Yeah.
I think it's still in. Or I posted a clip of it actually, didn't I?
I remember seeing the thing like be True Whale. So not to flex.
I did sack True Whale a little bit, but he did sack me, so it was back. I've beaten Zexatrax. I've beaten Lordo, who's competing in the America's Summit right now. Like I'm happy with my account, man. I'm competing in like G3, and if I draft right, I can beat the G3 Warlord. But I'm hoping to kind of squeeze into that bottom half of G3 this season. But Light Pig's amazing. He's really good even though he's on Despair, he's really good into Josephine's, especially with the 2 strips before him.
Oh my god, yeah.
I preferably
would like
him.
Despair set. It's crazy.
Yeah. I preferably would like him on Vio, just so that I don't have the chance to stun going into a Josephine in case I miss the cooldown. But the cool interaction with him is even if he stuns first hit and gets the cooldown on Josephine, the way that it goes is Josephine's passive doesn't proc until the attack's over, but because it's cooled down, if you've ever played like Magic the Gathering, right, there's a stack of stuff that happens. And the cooldown happens before Josephine's passive procs. So she won't actually take a turn if he gets his cooldown on his S3.
Holy shit.
Plus, I basically get a full another turn beforehand because he does push back 75% attack bar. And he's also really good into TL if TL gets picked against me because he doesn't absorb attack bar, he just pushes it back. And then the decreased defense, especially with Zaratu, a unit's dying if Zaratu and him get into the game together. And with Light Twins S1, I can guarantee that he will go after the Light Twins. And then Laura gets an S3 on a defense broken team, basically.
Right.
So it's just kind of more additional cleaving if you think about it. So next unit's is Zaratu. This is probably, he's up there with my favorite unit besides Laura right now. I feel like he's got a built-in proc on top of the 22% Vio because he has procced so many games and won me the game with it. I tried to make him as tanky as possible. He's on a speed, crit rate, HP set, which is subs and attack. In defense, his defense isn't very high, but his attack is actually really good. And then additional damage in arties. Without a defense break, he usually hits about 6 to 7k on first hit and about 3.5k on the second and third hit. Woonsa, this is my fastest Swift set, 234. So one rune made the difference with this set. You can also see it's max res. It's just because I ended up getting a max ancient quad, which is the slot 6, and that shot it up from a it was sitting at a 226 Woonsa. It shot it up to a 234 just with one rune. It's a 234 set, and it's not even a quad on the slot 5. So if I can get a Swift Claude on the slot 5, I can probably get him up. If I get a decent, I'm not even asking for like a max quad, but if it's a 33 quad, he's going up, 5 more? So we're at a 239 Woonsa at that point. So, and then just, I had to do S3 AC because it's a resistance slot 6. And then just a little bit of crit damage and additionals in the arties. So, Lars.
So yeah, for anybody who didn't see, this unit was very prevalent in the tournament, and I think he was on something else, right? Was he on Despair?
No. He was on Vio.
Okay.
Lars is always run on Vio because the way that his passive works, if he S2s onto an entire team and then procs, he can use his S2 again because he will get 4 stacks. If he has above 3 stacks or 3 stacks or more, he can use his S2 off cooldown no matter what.
Wow.
So if he Vio procs, even if he doesn't Vio proc, sometimes he'll just steal enough attack bar to take another turn, and then he Vio procs into another S2, and then it's just he's fun when he works. When he doesn't work, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Um, I've had yet to had a game with him yet. Um, I want to play him a little bit this season. He's just not. He's more of a counter pick right now.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I'm gonna have to name this video "I interviewed an LD abuser."
pretty pretty much. I mean, the Water Twins and the Megami I still use if I'm planning on not drafting TL. I'll
Mhm.
use the Megami. The Megami's on a pretty efficient set. Um, Pretty high HP, decent defense, with a good amount of AC. So I do pick the Fire Megami a little bit. Um, he's more of a. I feel like he's a better speed lead than like Oliver or Sierra. Or if I need a second speed lead and I'm not picking TL, I'll pick him. Water Twins, just on a I say leftover Swift set, but they're on like a 214 set, I think, or 212.
Yeah.
And then more is just your typical Despair Will, high attack, decent amount of AC. And then the Vanessa is a Swift build, with as much AC as possible. She's mainly if I decide to go like no TL and just all damage, kind of.
Mhm.
I'll pick her. But then we start getting into the RGB units. Leo, I'll just kind of fly through these because they're runed pretty well, but Leo gets picked and banned probably the most out of all my comp. Miles. Miles is pretty good. I would like to get some better arties on him, but he's on a lot of old stats like the speed by lost HP, so the more he gets hit, the harder he hits. Gojo, I have him on a decent Despair Will set. Yet to kind of have a situation to pick him. Tayor, I picked Tayor, and he becomes a force span into huge fire comps. But he's just on a Swift builds, could damage accuracy with a lot of subs and attack.
Mhm.
And then Fire Cookie. Fire Cookie, I love picking Fire Cookie with TL into extremely heavy attack bar, absorb, and pushback. Because with her passive and TL's passive, they're like robos. Robos will push back no attack bar and they'll gain no attack bar if the two of them get through. So it kind of cucks the robo comps. So she does get picked a good amount. It's not just LDs, but she does get picked a good amount if I want to pivot hard to turn 2. But she's just on a triple revenge set. So, and then I have typical Fire Cassandra. Don't pick her too often, but she is ruined just in case. Pretty good build. I would like to have about 200 or about 30 more crit damage on her. Juno gets picked into Juno. I was talking to a couple G3 buddies of mine. Juno is a unit that gets picked way too much, and people int with her so much when she shouldn't be picked. But there are drafts where if you last pick Juno, she's either a force ban or she completely goes nuts. And right now, one of the things I'm trying to learn with my drafting is when to pick Juno and when to not pick Juno. And the next unit's probably one of my favorite units that I've ruined is the Fire Monkey.
Such a good unit.
The fact that I was able to get almost 20k or 20 plus 28k HP on him, a decent amount of attack with the speed that he has. Even though he's not 100 crit rate, he still does massive work for me. The rest of the units are mainly counter picks. You have the Despair Will, Max Res Rika. You have the Velojul on like a plus 177 set that's meant to just kind of go in between shit. I do have a Shizuka and a Wunsarund. If I want to fight a Leo comp, I can go Oberon, Cassandra, Shizuka, and that kind of shuts down that comp. I just got Angela back, I should say. I fed the collab version before you could not feed dupes.
Yeah.
Or before you were only allowed to feed dupes. So she finally came back. Just got her on a Vile Revenge set, pretty tanky. Sonya. Sonya's a work in progress right now. I would like to get about 200 more attack on her, but she's also on an attack slot 2 instead of a speed slot 2. And she's still at plus 205.
That's insane.
Then you had the Oberon, which he kind of flashed. I do have a Geo ruined. I've yet to kind of pick her. I was picking her a little bit in Goodwill. I'm not too sure how I feel about the set. And then you have your Abellio. Abellio is a great unit in any RTA box that have Ruined. It is insanely good. You have the Swift Robo. And then I think the Rockies Ruined. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, the Rockies Ruined. Having a pocket Rocky pick is actually kind of funny because if they let it through, it actually does a lot of work. I have decent attack. I won't pick her with TL because I'll have a decent amount of attack bar push up to make sure that she cuts.
Right.
And then I have the I don't run a triple revenge verd. I run a will double revenge, just so he doesn't get CC'd off the bat. And I just actually ruined up this next monster, Misty. I've ran into him a few times in RTA, and when Misty works, especially into a high CC comp, Misty goes absolutely nuts.
Right.
And I think he's on a vampire build.
Yeah.
And he doesn't
Wow.
even really need crit rate. He just needs additionals.
Wow.
So, and then I have the Antares built. I think I've maybe picked Antares 5 times in the last 3 seasons, but he's built. Then I have an Anti-Leo Dominic, which I probably will never pick, but he's built. I have the Vio Will Fire Twins, which I'm still trying to find a good place in a draft for him. Irene was my select Nat 5. Just to have in case I go, like, if they go heavy bruiser, like Ragdoll Gapsu, I can lock away the Ragdoll, kill something, and then be done. And then I have a double Nem Will Zima for a counter pick into Wound Suz or any kind of like heavy AoE off the bat.
Nice. I mean, dude, it's a stacked box. It's
Mhm.
very nice, very well optimized too.
But yeah, that's kind of the box that has gotten me to. I didn't have Zeratu when I made G2, but right now the way that my wings are going, and just kind of the way that I'm drafting and learning the comp, because I have to relearn the comp with Zeratu, when to pick him, when to not.
Right.
But right now, I mean, I'm holding about a 61% win rate in top 300 right now, so it is it's going to be a climb. My goal is to shoot for about 1,000, like 1K to like 1,200 wings this season, and see if I can end up G3. So,
dude, that's awesome. Well, thanks for taking us the time to walk us through that.
When I started doing RTA, I actually paid for coaching, and one of the things that helped me is to learn. Yeah, and actually, I still take some coaching every now and then from a couple of G3 friends that I have. A lot of what I do is I'll do my wings in Discord and be like, I won't ask for help until I get to a point when I'm like, dude, I have no idea what the hell to ban. I have no idea what to pick. And just by doing wings with friends in Discord, like, you will learn. Like, that's my one like tip for RTA is, like, if you have someone that knows RTA, like, don't be afraid to do your wings in front of them or ask for help.
Right.
You'll learn the game so much better, and then you'll be able to, like, it'll just become, okay, I remember running into this issue 5 days ago with this one specific comp. And then you go, okay, cool. I know how to deal with it. So
yeah, I can attest to that.
it's
Doing wings with the community has taught me. So I don't even think I would have gotten to like C1 without at least some insight to how to draft, how to rune, all of it.
And I know there's been sometimes I've messaged you while you're streaming. You know, you shouldn't have banned that, or you should have targeted that first. So,
all right, man. Well, thanks. I'm gonna probably start stream now, but I appreciate you letting me go through it.
all right, Bubba. Well, thank you again. The tournament was fun. And then hopefully maybe next time I'll cast with you.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So, all right. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.